a really interesting, thought pattern to shift, though, what is traditional in that and what can actually hinder people. I hear a lot about this idea of church hurt and how the church has hurt someone and therefore they've fallen away because this person or that person. And it's the same concept of like, it's actually not God hurting you. It's human. It's a fleshly situation that's transpiring. God didn't do anything in that scenario other than to stay ever and never changing, right? To stay steadfast. And so it's us that shifts. It's us that falls away. It's us that moves back away from him. But I think one of my favorite analogies that people have used, my pastor specifically, says that oftentimes prayer is associated to a need or an ask, right? You always will hear people, God, I need you in this moment, or can you make this happen? Like it's a request on his behalf, like he's a genie in a bottle. And what we should be doing too, similar to how our children will come and ask, and Mama, can I have this? Hey, Dada, can I have this? Hey, can you do this for me? But some of my favorite conversations, no different than how I believe God, favors our conversations, even though he likes all of their voices, all of our ear, all of our attention. Simultaneous to that, when I get to just have a conversation, one of gratitude or one of just curiosity or getting to know my child, how their day went and things like that. And so instead of always going to God in request or in ask, even though we're to present and request a petition, our prayers to God, what if the days that are the off times or the seasons that you're on the high and the mountaintop, we're just praising him. We're just still in conversation, right? And it sounds like you've been doing that even in the ebbs and flows of life.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, a lot of the times our goals are not the goals that God put us on this earth for.
Preach.
And they become programmed from other people, experiences that we've had, things that we've observed on, whether it's social media or television. But not only that, people that die, believe it or not, when you're around people and even pets, believe it or not, this happens. You will pick up the goals that those folks or those pets have failed upon. And then you will take up those goals and fail upon them. This is a phenomenon that's happened. I've done a lot of research on this. And what happens is we start getting caked up with what they call dead man's goals. And when those are not the goals that we were put here for. So one thing I pray for a lot is that I see like God's will and it's put inside of me, into my thoughts, words, actions, in my environment. That's something that I pray every day, because I don't want to, like, there's things I think I want, right? But I don't want them if it's not in the plan. And so I want to make sure I go back to my original self, me, like C-Roc, the original, not me plus all the worldly things and the people that, I'm starting to understand this stuff a lot more because I'm reading more and studying more. And then I'm also building upon my study habits and abilities to understand and see things from different perspectives. And the world puts upon you goals, and then you start grinding, then you start stressing out, then you start setting expectations that are not in the plans for you, and then you wonder why you're not making progress to it. But Tamra, let me tell you, when you're aligned with the mission, the original mission that you were placed here for, and whatever that may be getting a lot of money so that you can help people. That may be living in an awesome place. It may be materialistic so that you have something that you're going to do with that. But at the end of the day, when you get that alignment, man, life is so much more filled with joy and laughter and calmness and peace. And so that's, I think, to me, what I'm searching for is that freedom and peace and joy.
Yeah. And I think what's neat is that doesn't have to be a waiting thing, right? You don't have to wait until the end of your life to get to that place. I think a lot of times people work towards retirement. When I get to this place, then I'll travel. When I get to this goal, then I'll be happy, right? And we know when it comes to money, well, we say we know, but people still strive for it all the time. Well, when you go for tangibles, the thing that is tangible doesn't necessarily result in peace, joy, contentment. And the fruits of the Spirit are not necessarily something that we'll ever hold, but we'll feel, will reside within. And then those other things might organically come. I don't think that money is bad. I don't think that tangibles are bad, but what we do with them and how we receive them and the gratitude in which we consistently show up with them can change everything. And so to know that joy and peace and contentment are literally attainable today, what are some of the actions besides prayer and belief, even though those are massive, that are things that you're consistently like moving towards, even within your business?
So one is not tying my emotions to outcomes, to money. But when I do have a win, I'll celebrate for a little bit, but then I'm on to what's next.
Yeah.
Because I think I always have to have a game I'm playing. Like I want to, okay, what am I shooting for next? You have a win, celebrate, next.
Yeah.
Because, I think that you see this a lot with people that retire. They don't set a new game for themselves.
It's true.
And then they pass away, or a wife or husband passes away, and an older couple, and the one that's left dies right after, because they don't set up a new game for themselves. And so I think that's for me one. And then the other thing would be confronting. When I have a concern or issue that's going on in my mind, I confront it. I establish a situation, whether it's a true concern, if it's just my emotions, which I never trust my emotions. I just always say, emotions, it'll be changed tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so confronting the issues. So many people have issues. They have concerns. They have thoughts. Things bother them. They don't confront them. And then it persists. What you resist persists. So confrontation is a very important thing. And what I mean by confrontation is not attacking someone or being rude or disrespectful to someone. What I mean by it is handling it. Taking time out of the equation and handling an issue. Because here's the thing, like one thing that gets me, like recently, for example, like mortgage rates are going up, and I have a mortgage company. It's one of my 6 businesses, and business is down. And I could sit here and be like, oh no, business is down, rates, this and that. Or I could say, okay, this is happening. I knew it was going to happen. So we did already prepare a little bit for this. But now, like, okay, what do we need to do to get back to where we were based on the current conditions? Let's deal with this. Let's write this out. Let's get clear on it. And let's start an attack plan.
Yeah.
And then have fun with it. Turn the problem into a project. Because look, there's a lady that works with me, Tamra, that just lost her daughter a couple weeks ago in a car accident. She was 23 years old. And she just read a letter today on our sales call. We meet every day for 10 or 15, 20 minutes. She just read a letter that came from a nurse who was first on the scene. And she was telling Renee at our company, she was telling her about her daughter, that she wasn't in pain, that she looked like an angel when she arrived, and she gave her hope. And it made me realize that the stress that we go through with our business and our everyday lives, like we're only on this planet for a short period of time.